Welcome back, and we're continuing the news. A senior union leader is this evening blasting the private sector for what he described as its low-wage policy. Speaking with our news center, President of the Union of Clerical, Administrative and Supervisor Employees UCASE, Vincent Morrison, said many private sector workers are seeking employment with the government due to the low-wage policy. He added that other persons have left the workforce.
In fact, you had a situation where the public sector was losing its best and most skilled employees to the private sector. You now have a flip where the government haven't put in the compensation arrangement, which is not yet finalized. But what you do have is a situation where the private sector is now lagging behind. In other words, you could really describe what has happened as a flip. Private sector is now behind the public sector, which was not the case a number of years ago.
Mr. Morrison warns that the country's productivity is at risk as many workers in the private sector are struggling to make ends meet as wage increases are not keeping up with actual inflation.
What I can tell you is that the private sector is still paying 5%, 6% using Bank of Jamaica inflation rate as the guide in keeping with 4, 5, and 6% inflation. This is not helping the workers in the private sector. And part of the problem is that more and more workers are leaving. We have heard the complaints from the private sector organization of Jamaica and other private sector entities that they have been having problems in getting work. This is mainly due to the low compensation level.
Discussions about low salaries in the private sector have resurfaced following the new public sector compensation regime, which has primarily increased the salaries of the majority of public sector workers.